houses burned, monarch and wife beaten to pulp as another kingship tussle wrecks Delta community. Egbudu Akah community in Delta North is boiling as properties and lives are being lost over kingship tussle. The warfare is coming from two brothers who are laying claim to the stool left behind by their late father in September 2016. The police have arrested some of the youths who beat up one of the parallel kings who is said to be recuperating in the hospital. As it is in Egbudu, a rural community in Egbudu Akah North Council area of Delta State where kingship tussle has torn the community apart. Egbudu Akah, also an agrarian community in Egbudu Akah South Council area of the state, is also embroiled in warfare, blood and death over the rightful heir to the throne. The king of the community, Egbudu Akah, died on September 30, 2016. Following his death, two of his sons are laying claim to the throne as kings in place of their late father. Community sources say the late Egbudu was the oldest reigning monarch in the world as he ruled the community for over 70 years. But as soon as he died, succession to his still has become a subject of controversy, as two of his sons are causing commotion and destroying properties of opposition members to pave way to become the substantive king of the rural community. Egbudu Akah and his wife, Teresa. They are receiving treatment at the hospital after the beating given to them by angry youths of Egbudu Akah. Facts from the community are indicating that the two crowned kings are ruling from different sections of the community, a development which has led to divided loyalty in the community. One of his sons, who is said to be a pastor based in Sukwa in the same council area, was installed as Obi Solomon Egbudu, while another group said to be led by the eldest man of the community, one Augustine Kwesi, installed the monarch's first son with the name Obi Palnzm. The coronation of the two from different camps was the beginning of crisis for the tiny community. Following the installation of the two kings, there has been no peace in the area. The emergence of the two kings has been a subject of discussion among residents of the community. The residents have been discussing the issue in low tones as the crisis escalates, claiming lives and destroying properties belonging to both parties, and community members seem to be opposed to each camp. A community source told Nage.com that the history and culture of the community make provision for Obi Solomon to be the king after the death of their father. The source alleged that his mother was the rightful wife of the late monarch, Egbudu Akah, while Obi Paul's mother was inherited from the late Obi's brother. Hence, he said the son from inherited woman cannot be king in Egbudu Akah community. Obi Solomon was quoted to have said, "My grandfather, Egbudu, had 4 wives. My own father was not the first son of his father, as there was one son ahead of him, called Babadi Egbudu, who died in the presence of his father. Before his death, he had about 4 wives, but 2 were alive when his father died in 1946. So, Egbudu Akah was asked to inherit his brother's 2 living wives and their children. My father inherited through Egbudu his brother's 2 wives before he continued his own life by marrying my mother, who bore 2 late sons and myself. I am the rightful first living child, who is the authentic first son of late Egbudu Akah. Obi Solomon Egbudu being crowned at Egbudu Akah, but Obinzm insisted that he was duly installed by Diotpas in Egbudu Akah, supported by the relevant kingmakers and courtiers. While countering the stance of Egbudu, Nzink said the culture and tradition of Egbudu Akah are similar to those of other communities in Egbudu South, Egbudu North, Oshimili North and Oshimili South local councils of Delta State and have not changed till today. He stated that it was common knowledge in the kingdom, even before the death of the late monarch, that he was the recognized heir apparent to the throne, because everybody knew he was the first male qualified child, having been in the palace before Solomon's mother was married. But for the fact that two kings cannot rule in a single community, there has been serious crisis in the community. The crisis has escalated to the point of fighting from groups loyal to each of the kings. Investigations revealed that there is massive destruction of property in the community, with Obi Paul and his wife sustaining serious degrees of injuries from beatings given to them by youths suspected to be loyal to Obi Solomon. A community youth who preferred not to be named told Nage.com, "There are two highnesses in Egbudu Akah. My own highness is Solomon Ogwuagu. The other one, Paul, is the brain behind the crisis in Egbudu Akah, alleging that his action led to the killing of some people in the community." Read also, quit notice to Igbo people, Osinbajo talks tough in meeting with Eruwa, vows to punish troublemakers. Because of his action, youths loyal to Obi Solomon decided to start burning houses and destroying properties. His wife poured acid on people. That is why the youths of the community got angry and beat up his wife, because she cannot pour acid on a human being and go free, the youth said. Some of the buildings destroyed by the angry youths of Egbudu Akah. He alleged that Paul and his group killed a 14-year-old boy while some others with bullet wounds are nursing their injuries. All these, it was learned, triggered the community youths to beat up Obi Paul and his wife. His house was also burnt and the house of other community members that are loyal to him. According to him, Solomon is the actual heir to the throne, noting that Obi Paul is coming on the ground that he is the first son. He explained that the tradition of the community does not go like that. The tradition dictates that the kingship goes to Solomon being the first son from the rightful marriage. But Paul is the first son. His mother was inherited from the late Obi's elder brother. That was what we came to understand. We did not know because we were children then. Solomon is the son whose mother was properly married. He is supposed to be the king. The problem we are having now is intimidation. They are bringing people from outside the community to fight us. They poured acid on people, that is why the community youths reacted by burning their houses. They now brought police and arrested some people in the village. According to him, the community is in support of Obi Solomon. He alleged that he has about 70% support from the community people. The source told Nage.com that Obi Paul and his group are trying to arrest as many as they could. Following the crisis and the consequent beating of Obi Paul, the two were left to nurse their wounds. Obi Paul and his wife, Teresa, narrowly escaped being lynched as the rampaging youths invaded his palace. Nage.com learned that not less than 2 people were killed, several houses destroyed, including the palace, cars belonging to the embattled king and other members of his family as well as some subjects loyal to him, were burned. Police stormed the community and made some arrests. Narrating his ordeal on his hospital bed, Obi Paul said he was in the palace after effecting repairs on one of his cars when youths numbering over 40 forced themselves into the palace and started destroying vehicles and the palace building. He said that they later left and came back in larger number and started beating him and his wife, his little son and one of his brothers. He said they later took him to the new palace building and subsequently to the house of the principal suspect, where he was beaten to a state of coma with cutlasses, guns, broken bottles and wood. Obi Paul said he and his wife were almost strangled to death, but for the intervention of the policeman who came in to rescue him and his wife in a room where they were locked up and receiving beating from the youths. He said he was dragged on the floor and thereafter his clothes were torn, leaving him with only boxers and pant on, adding that they shot at him but he managed to dodge the bullets. The royal father said at present, the community is under siege by the rampaging youths, who are armed with guns and other dangerous weapons. When contacted, the Delta State Police Public Relations Officer, Egbudu Akah, confirmed the incident, adding that at the last count, about 9 suspects have been arrested while peace has returned to the community with police officers on ground to maintain peace. He said the matter is under investigation and that anyone found guilty would be made to face the wrath of the law. Egbudu Akah said the traditional ruler is at present receiving medical treatment with his wife in the hospital. Meanwhile, the Obi of Oa, another community in Ike East Council area, Obi Efizimur, too, and chairman, Delta State Traditional Rulers Council, has condemned the attack on Obi Paul and called on the people of the area to embrace peace and seek legal option to address perceived grievances. According to him, traditional rulers in the state are unhappy over this ugly development. The process of ascending the throne is very clear to everybody and wondered why the suspects could resort to this unlawful act. What they have done is a breach of the peace. I am calling on the police and the state government to bring the culprits to book and sanction them to serve as deterrent to others. Traditional ruler commended the police for acting promptly and rescuing the monarch from the hands of the angry youths. Vice Chairman of Antioch South Local Government Area, Ezekiel, condemned the attack on Obi Paul. He said the council has done a lot to resolve the crisis by handing over the matter to the Delta State Traditional Rulers Council.